Hey ladies, good afternoon. What is today? Today's Thursday, December 13th. I'm trying to straighten my camera out here. It's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I was going to have a live class tonight for this wreath, but I got to be honest with you. I'm so busy with the holidays being so close that my evenings are just insane. And by the time 8 o'clock rolls around, I'm just exhausted. You can see my table's all taped up here. I have that other brand new craft table that somebody made for me, but it's huge. And if I had a bigger craft room, I could leave it set up all the time, but I don't. I have to have something I can fold up and put away in the evening. Hopefully when my daughter moves out, she's planning on moving to Colorado to be with her sister, I can set up that table permanently in her bedroom because it's huge and it would be a perfect craft room. But anyway, yeah, this table's kind of on its last legs. It's been burned by hot glue, et cetera, et cetera. But anyway, it'll suffice for now. Again, what I was going to say, this is the elf wreath class, elf-themed wreath class, which is now going to be a pre-recorded tutorial. Because like I said, I think I have a live class tomorrow night. I have one Saturday. I have one Sunday. It's just been a really crazy couple of months for me. And I think I may have overextended myself for the month of December and scheduled way too many classes because we had so many things, so many projects I wanted to do. And anyway, next year we're going to be starting way earlier. I'm going to put kits together and take orders starting, I think, in August or September. So, it's going to be a lot better. Again, this group has been in existence, this wreath making group has been in existence since July of 2017. I've done over 130 videos now, live classes and pre-recorded tutorials. And this is the first time since then that it's, I've kind of slacked a little bit, I guess, for lack of a better word, because I had some personal stuff going on, but I'm trying to get back on track. 2019 is going to be a great year. I've got a lot of cool things planned, some guest designers. I'm not going to go into detail because it's a surprise, but many of you got the kit for this wreath. If you didn't, there is a supply list that it's been posted for weeks now, so if you haven't gotten your supplies yet, it's probably going to be too late, but and if you are making this wreath now with the intention of selling it, you could probably still sell it. There's a lot of people out there that still want wreaths the week before Christmas, or just put it away for next year, or make it for your house, make it for yourself. This is the sign. This house is under elf surveillance. That is from Jane's Front Door Decor. And I also am going to be using this cute elf kit. I love his little curly hairs. That's his head and his polka dot hat, which is kind of neat because I found some polka dot ribbon that I'm going to use that'll match his hat. You always try to find, and then I have this too, which will match the stripes in his hat, and that's like almost identical. Look at that. I did a really good job with that. Except that one's got gold in it. So I've got his head, and then he's got these cute little legs with little bells on them. And of course his little hands. And they all have wires so you can attach to your wreath. So we're going to be doing that. Some of you got the kit with just the sign. Some of you got the whole kit with the elf head and the, you know what I'm trying to say, my brain. This is actually a work wreath form that I found that I had in the closet. I totally forgot that I had it, but it is green, so I'm going to be using it. And I'll be honest with you, there's two reasons why I don't like work wreath forms. A work wreath form is just a form that's already got the ties on it. You can see I added an extra one because there was a space there. But you see how this one's like flopping over? They make these in the factory. They're not usually secured very tightly, and they slide. So I had to go around and zip tie a few of them just to secure them a little bit better. And you can see the work wreath forms are more dome shaped. Your Dollar Tree form or your regular wire forms are a little bit flatter. So you're going to get a much puffier wreath with a work wreath form. I prefer to make my own now. When we had the shortage of work wreath forms last year, I started making my own. I was ordering cases of the wreath forms from Dollar Tree. And I use these types of ties, and they seem to just hold a lot better. I wrap them around the 2 wires instead of just the 1, but these are too far apart. Dollar Tree forms have 4 rings. These only have 3. But anyway, if you like the work wreath forms, you can use them. They're very easy to make your own. You've got 10 ties on the outside. You've got 8 on the inside. If you're using a Dollar Tree form, you're actually going to wrap your ties around the outer 2 and the inner 2. Again, if you have any other type of a wreath form, it's going to have 4 bars and not 3. 10 on the outside, 8 on the inside, spaced about 4 inches apart, and you're going to be golden. Now, we're going to do the woodland ruffle, which I actually did another class on this, but I called it the curl ruffle because it's a combination of 2 different methods. The person that actually designed this, I can't think of her name right now, but the name of her website or her Facebook page is Woodland Ridge Designs. Let me get a drink. And she named this method after herself, Woodland Ruffle. This is a 35-inch piece of mesh. It's a really big piece of mesh. This is a premium mesh. I realized when I was putting the kits together, and I've done this before, I didn't have enough mesh for myself. I didn't order enough for myself. So I kind of had to order this the last minute from the wreath shop. It's a premium heavy foil. You can see how wide the foil is. Typically, I don't know if I have any handy here. Typically in a metallic mesh, the foil is a little bit thinner, but this is all they had. So this is what I'm going to use. It doesn't really matter. This is actually a better quality mesh. So how we do the woodland ruffle. You've got 35 inches here. You've seen this method before if you have the other video. If not, you're going to see it again. Put something heavy down on the end, either your phone or I have a tape measure. Make sure you have a chip clip or a clothespin handy, and I'll tell you why. You're going to take the end of this huge piece of mesh and you're going to roll it 4 or 5 times. I usually do 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And you're going to make your curl or your spiral. You're going to clip it with your paper clip or your chip clip or your, not paper clip, clothespin. You're going to flip it around. You've got the curl side going up. So the natural curl is going up. So then you just do the same thing with the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you can start ruffling it, just like you do a regular ruffle. Just start pulling it towards you, pinching in the middle. It's a huge piece of mesh, so make sure you're pinching it tight so you don't lose it. Move your weight, come to the end, take off your clip, and you have your finished ruffle curl. I'm going to put it not down. I'm going to go up with it. Okay? So start on the outside. This is my extra tie that I put on. Make sure you twist it tight because you've got a lot of mesh here. Sorry for my head. You have a lot of mesh here. You're going to want to make sure it's on there securely. 3 times anyway. And then you can mess with it a little bit. It's better to get it even while it's in your hand before you put it on your wreath form so you're not tugging at it too much. That's what's going to cause frays. This isn't going to fray on me because it's premium mesh. This mesh just does not fray. This wide foil. Whoops. And I yanked it right out. This is why you got it tight. But what's nice about this method is because you curled the ends under, that's going to help to hide your cut ends as well, so you will not see frays. I use the wood burning tool to cut this, but if you use a rotary cutter or if you use scissors, it's going to hide those frays on the end. So there's our first piece. This is such a big piece of mesh, you're only going to need to put 1 per tie. So that's all we're going to do. I'm not going to make you watch me do the whole thing, but we'll do a few more. Get your weight again. Put it down. Start on the end. 4 curls. You can do 4, you can do 5. 4 seems to be good for me. 3, 4. Clip it. This is probably going to be your new favorite method if you haven't seen this method before. I'm sure you could probably do smaller pieces of mesh if you wanted to. If it's difficult for you to roll or ruffle this big piece of mesh. I've never tried it with smaller pieces. 2, 3, 4. There's actually a method that you can do with 21-inch mesh called a poofle. I haven't seen that one yet, but she came up with it too. Now, to me, you know what? I'm gonna place this face up. I'm gonna go parallel to the wreath form. To me, poofle kind of sounds like a combination of a poof and a ruffle. So I could be wrong. I haven't seen it yet. So, but you can see 2 things about this premium mesh and this method together. Even if you didn't have a premium mesh, you're going to get really good coverage because it's a huge piece of mesh. You're only going to have 1 per tie, but this premium mesh is so thick that it's going to really cover your wreath form well. I'm trying to pull this piece out a little bit so it's more even. There we go. And the reason why I lay my mesh parallel to the wreath form is because when you go to lay your ribbon down, your ribbon is going to be going in the same direction as your mesh. See how the mesh is kind of going out like that? So that's going to help your ribbon lay better. If you had a big bunch of mesh facing out, your ribbon's going to like pop up and it's not going to lay right. So somebody's blasting their music. I don't know if it's upstairs or what. So let's just keep going here. My daughter's coming home in 6 days. I'm very excited. I haven't seen her since Mother's Day. I don't know if it's upstairs they're playing that music or if it's across the street. Anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll do a couple more of these and then I'll, oh, I don't want to take this off yet. I gotta ruffle it. And then I'll, now I gotta flip it around. And then I'll pause the video and finish it so you can, let's move this along a little bit. 2, 3, 4. And then start ruffling. I may experiment with smaller pieces of mesh. But again, like I said, the thing of it is, the reason why this mesh is so long is because you're only going to need 1 per tie. I have a feeling if you were to use a shorter piece of mesh that you would need more than 1 per tie. And that's the nice thing about this. I mean, it literally took me 10 minutes to cut this mesh because I only had to cut 20 pieces because they were so long. But look how nice and full that is. You can see it's, see these ties, they're like flopping around. See that? I hate that. That's why I don't use work wreath forms because they just, ties don't stay. All right, I'm going to continue around the outside and then I'm going to go around the inside and I will be back and then we'll put a ribbon on. I'll be right back. Hey ladies, I went all the way around the outside and almost all of the inside. I left one because I just wanted to show you the curl and ruffle one more time. But look at this wreath. Look how full that is. Look how gorgeous that is. Don't look at the ties. Those are going to have ribbons in them. But you are going to love this method. If you haven't done it before, we did it once before in class and everybody loved it. This is a little bit more full than it typically would be on a Dollar Tree frame, only because, like I said, the work wreath frame is a little bit more domed. But you're still going to get a full wreath if you use a Dollar Tree or a flatter frame. Don't worry about that. You're actually going to end up having a couple of extra pieces. if you cut them at 35 inches, because I had 20 pieces and there's 18 ties. So if you want to go ahead, 2, 3, 4, so 4 curls, add your pipe cleaner or your chip clip, not your pipe cleaner, chip clip or your clothespin. 1, 2, 3, 4. I just sneezed about 50 times here. And then you start ruffling. Take your weight off, take your clip off the end, and you have a nice big piece with a curl and a ruffle. I got one more tie here. Again, what I was starting to say, if I can find my tie, you know, I thought I had one more tie. I have a space here. Wait a second here. There it is over here. But you know what? I have a space here. I'm going to add another tie. You see that? I have a great big space there. I think it's because my ties slid around. So if you want to go ahead and add an extra couple of pipe cleaners to your wreath form, just so you don't have those 2 pieces of mesh left over, go right ahead. I hate having leftover mesh. And there's nothing set in stone saying when you're done adding your pipe cleaners to all your 18 ties, you have to throw the rest away. No, you don't. If you have any left over, just find a spot, just like I did here. There's a gap here. See that? Where my pipe cleaner must have slid over. And I actually only have 1 piece left because I think I ended up, or do I have 2? I do have 2. But I think I'm just going to, unless I can find a spot on the bottom, yeah, I think there's a gap on the bottom. I can add another pipe cleaner. So, ladies, there's nothing wrong with that. Where's my pipe cleaners here? Oops, there goes my laptop. I do not like having leftover mesh. And the way to resolve that, add another pipe cleaner. So I have a gap here. I'm just going to slip this in. There's always more room for more mesh. That's my motto. You can never have too much mesh. This would make a nice base for a St. Patty's Day wreath too. 3, 4, because this emerald green, it's a very pretty color of green here. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so I'm going to add this one up here. You don't have to do this if you don't want to, because this wreath will probably be full enough where you won't have to, but like I said, what am I going to do with two 35-inch pieces of emerald green mesh? What am I going to do with that? I don't want to throw things away, so I'm going to kind of peek around and see where I may have a gap. I think I can sneak another piece in down here, and then I won't have any left over. But what I'm going to do, though, is I'm just going to add ribbon to the ties that were already there. There's 18 ties. I always put ribbon in every one of the 10 ties on the outside, and then not necessarily on every tie on the inside, depending on what I have going on, meaning how big my sign is, if I have any other embellishments on there. A lot of wreath makers will go ahead and put ribbon in every tie, and then they just squish their sign down or whatever they have, 2, 3, 4 on top of it. But I don't like to do that. I like to be able to see my mesh. I don't want to cover it completely. 1, 2, 3, 4 with the ribbon. Whatever you like, whatever you want to do. If you want to put ribbon in every tie, you go right ahead. There's the last piece. But I'm only going to do, because I do like to do ribbon in every tie on the outside, but I'm only going to do the ones that were already on there, meaning the 8 ties that are, excuse me, the 10 ties that were already there. 2, 3, and I'll just clip, I'm just going to clip this one off so it's not there because I don't really need it for ribbon. Just make sure that you tie it tight enough before you clip it off. So I've used all my mesh. I don't have any left over, which is a good thing. Look how nice and full that is. And I know I had one other one that I added. I'm just trying to find it so I can clip it off. It's like buried in here. Buried somewhere. There's the one I clipped. I know I had one more. I probably could have fit another piece of mesh in there, but I don't have any left. Here it is right here. I'm just going to clip that one off. Look how nice and full that is, ladies. Again, this is a work wreath form. It's domed. It's going to be a little bit fuller than a Dollar Tree form because that's flatter. But honestly, I prefer the Dollar Tree forms. I really do. Okay. That's it. Let's get these out of the way. You know what my daughter's going to say when I walk out with this? She's going to say, Mom, that's huge. Why is it so puffy? Because their work wreath forms, they do make them very puffy. But isn't that a gorgeous base? That's a very nice base. What I'm going to do now, I think, is put my sign on. And then I'm going to put my elf around the sign. My wreath attachment. So the sign's going to go right in the middle. And if you've seen my videos or attended my classes, you know that I love to use the cable tie mounts that you can get online. You can find them near the cable ties in Walmart. They're just these little squares, these little inch-by-inch squares, and they have holes in there. See the hole? And you can slip your pipe cleaner right through there. And attach it to your wreath. Now, these signs from Jane's Front Door Decor, she does put little holes in there for you if you want. I'm not sure if you can see that little tiny pinhole right there. If you want to use floral wire. But, you know, and I could do that. She put one on either side. You can tell her where you want your holes. You can either have them in either corner or you can have them on either side. And her signs are so light that I usually just have her put one on either side. But then I don't end up using them because I use these. Sometimes these come off though. So sometimes I put a little extra hot glue, or you can use the holes and put your floral wire in. That's fine too. So all you do is you get your pipe cleaners. You go right through the hole. Don't go all the way through. You don't need to. Just enough to tie it on like that. Just like that. See? And you're just going to want to go through all these mounds of mesh and attach it to your wreath form. I love these types of signs because they're so light that you can really never go wrong when you're attaching them. A lot of times if you have a heavy sign, boy, it's a pain. It's really a pain to get it to attach because it's heavy. And then you put it on and you think you have it and you're just going to wrap it around your wreath form a couple of times. Don't do it too tight until you're sure you have it the way you want it. But again, I've had so many, not so many because I stopped using the heavy signs, but there's been times where I've used a heavy sign, a heavy wood sign, And you go and you have it all attached, all nice, I think. I'm just pulling my mesh up a little bit around the sign so it's not squished. And you think you have it all attached and you're so happy and it's right in the center. And my ruffle came out here because it's so huge. Hold on. And then what I was going to say is you go to lift up your wreath and your sign slides down because it's so heavy. And you scream, no. I just needed to put that piece of mesh back in because it came loose. You got to make sure you tie these tight, ladies. This was one of the ties that I put on. Maybe that's why. Make sure you wrap it around several times. Let me put feed this other side through. But these signs, they're like almost like license plate material. They're awesome. I may have tied this one down a little bit too far. Hold on a minute. I'm going to move this pipe cleaner up. This is why you don't wrap it around too tight at first. I'm going to move this one up a little bit. It's not right in the center. So I'm going to go up a little bit up here. There we go. Like I said, then you can pull your mesh up around your sign so it's not squished like that. And that's perfect. Just like that. Uh-oh. Do I have another one coming out? Yep, I do. I do. Let's roll this one back up again. Tighten that piece. I don't know how that happens. I twisted it about 3 or 4 times too. Keep going. Easy fix. No problem. Okay. Signs in. I could stop there if I wanted to and just put my ribbon on, but we have to put our elf man on. Time to be after my doggy's going to want her dinner soon. Okay. Now, I'm going to cut this little tag off on the back of his head here. I don't need that. Ladies, if you didn't get the elf with your kit, then you can stop here and go get a drink of water or whatever. But they always put one up here too, a wire up here. I never really need that one. I need the ones on the back of his head. So I'm going to snip this one off. I don't really know why they put that on there. You don't need that one. So the one that's on his hat, I just kind of snip that one off. There's 2 on the back of his head. I'm going to use that to attach. I'm just going to go right up here. Right above the sign. Pull these metallic pieces out that drive me crazy. And you're just going to have to feed your wires through the wreath form, through the mesh down into the wreath form. And these are light too. These pieces are very light, so you're not going to have a difficult time attaching these. And there's a wire on each side. So again, don't put it too tight until you're sure it's the way you want it. And just wrap it around your wreath form. You can cut off the excess after. Here's the other one. Again, not too tight until you're sure. Just the way you want it. Uh-oh. That one already came loose. Not quite sure how that happened. I pulled on his head and it came right loose. Let's try that again. Twist. Okay. I love his little hat. So there's his head. His head's on there. Okay. Step one. Trying to make sure I have it centered. There's so much mesh on here. You can see I'm probably not going to put too much. Let me look at it real quick and see if it's centered. I'm not going to put too much ribbon because I'll tighten the sign up on this side because I have the elf on here too. So if I had just the sign, yeah, we just want to tighten this. I'd probably put some more ribbon on the inside, but I have the elf man too, so. Okay. Please, I'm going to pause this for one quick second. I'll be right back. Somebody's at my door. All right, ladies, I'm back. Let's finish putting our elf kit on here because I need to start making dinner soon. I want to get you guys this video tonight. So let's do his hands. I got stuff falling all over the place over here. Oh, hold on. My slime just fell. All right, so you notice he's got two wires at the bottom of his hands here. So you're going to get these so they're facing down like that. So kind of bend them so they're going down. You're going to put one here on one side of the sign. Now if you want it to go this way, so it's almost like he's holding the sign, you can do that. Now my wires are stuck. I knew that was going to happen. But I want mine to go the other way. You can put them in any way you want. I'm going to have mine going out this way. So put one on one side. And then I may have to take a little break here and put my ribbon on after. Because I need to get my sick little doggy fed and get her insulin. Because she needs to have that at a certain time every day. If you don't know, I have a 15-year-old doggy who's got diabetes. And this is getting caught in my mesh here. Ugh. God darn it. I shoved it through because there's little hooks on the end. And they're like stuck in my mesh now. Come on. There we go. All right, so be careful when you're putting this through because once it gets caught on that mesh, you're not going to be able to get it out because of the little hooks that are on the end. Okay. It's also sticking to his little glove here. So get that situated the way you want it. Find your wires. And twist them around. You might even want to put a little bit of glue. So a lot of times these wires, they hold, but then as you can see, your hand kind of wants to pop up. So sometimes I even put a little bit of glue. I don't know why my sign is so crooked here. Sometimes I even put a little bit of glue under his hand, and glue it to the sign, but I think this is okay. It's going to be on one side of the sign, almost like he's holding the sign. Let me look at that real quick. Just like that. So sometimes your mesh will help hold your sign in place too. There. There's one hand. And we can do the other one. I have so much going on, ladies. I wish I had 3 of me to get everything done I need to get done. Holidays are very hectic. Careful when you're putting this through, like I said, because it'll get caught on your mesh, these little hooks, and they don't want to let go. All right. Don't be frantic trying to get, no, this is not going to work, because why are his hands going, I've got one going this way and I've got one going this way. Oh, that's right. I think I want his, yeah, like that. Both of his thumbs have to be going the same way. I knew there was something wrong here. Something was amiss. There. Something was amiss. Don't you love that word? And again, your mesh could be your best friend, because sometimes that'll help hold your pieces in place. There. So there's his little hands. They're kind of like coming out from around the sign, but that's okay. If you want to move your head down closer to the sign, you can. Mine's up a little bit farther, but that's fine. That's fine with me. He's sticking his head out from underneath the mesh. I may have to glue that glove. Okay. What time is it? It's almost time. It's 4 o'clock here. Let's get his feet on, then I think I'll take a break and I'll put his ribbon on after. He's got little bells on his feet. So I'm going to have mine going out this way. 1 foot going this way, 1 foot going out the other way. I think that'll work. Again, kind of bend your wires down so they're going in, because you're going to feed them into the mesh, into your wreath form. Watch those nasty little hooks. Try to guide them through your mesh here so they don't get stuck until you get a chance to attach it. Oops. These are really long. I don't know why they make these so long. I don't understand that. They don't need to be that long. I may have to clip some of those off. But this wire is so thick. My Lord. Yeah, I'm going to clip some of that wire off. I don't know why there's so much wire on there. I don't need that much. It's just getting in the way. Okay. You know what I think happened? I think the wire was all the way down his leg, and I think it pulled up as I was pulling on it. I think that's what happened. That's why I ended up having so much wire, because it was way down here, and then when I was pulling it through the wreath form, it came loose. That's okay. That's okay. It's a big piece of mesh right here. Where's my sign coming loose? We're having all sorts of issues here, ladies. I gotta tighten up my sign. Yeah. Okay, there's one leg. So you can feel the wire is way down here. So when you're pulling it through, be careful, because I pulled the wire right out of his leg. So let's not do that again. If you don't have the wreath kit, the elf kit, you're not going to have to really worry about that. There we go. Leg 1 and leg 2 are in. That's wicked cute. If you want your legs going both the same way, you can have them going both the same way, whatever you like. But I thought that's kind of cute to have them going in different directions here. Alrighty, I'm going to take a little break, ladies, and go feed my doggy. And then I will come back and we'll put some ribbon on. And we'll finish this up. I don't like how this mesh is so poofy over here. Let me tuck that in just a little. Tuck that poofy in over here. This is a very poofy wreath, but isn't that so adorable so far? I'll be back, ladies, and then we'll finish this up. Thanks. I can hit the